You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
It's funny. This stupid thing knows exactly when to update. Like as soon as we're doing the intro, it's the funniest thing. Son of a bleep. Welcome, rebels. I hope you guys are ready. Holy cow! The world is a crazy place, and so is the world of sports. And we're gonna take you away from the other crazy stuff, and we're gonna talk about this crazy stuff with like balls and pucks and things, and rich people bitching over money and all kinds of fun stuff. You know, we're gonna talk about that. We're gonna stay away from all the other stuff, and we're gonna have some fun with it. So be ready to be silly, be ready to have some fun, get those thumbs warmed up, because you better thumb out some good ones, cats. We'll have the text line open. Of course, we're available on social media, Studio 57 Radio across the Bizzord, Studio57Radio.com as well on YouTube. Alrighty, so let's get this thing rolling, baby. I hope you are ready, so let's get into this thing. So, without further ado, let's do the do that we do at DSR2. I am Scrappy, and here is your host, the man, the myth, the legend, Johnny the Moose.
Hey, we're back here for another edition of DSR2 on this actually it was a pretty decent here Wednesday for the first, was it 2nd of March on there? A little raining right now, but yeah, we got up to the mid-40s. It was pretty damn tasty out there. We got lots of on good 65 on Sunday here and snow on Monday.
Is it supposed to be 65 on Sunday?
65 on Sunday.
Oh my
Rain
gosh.
in the early morning, nice the rest of the day, and then Monday, measurable snow.
Well, that's not a son of a bitch.
Welcome to Michigan.
Yeah. So
all 4 seasons, one day.
Well, what you're gonna see is on Sunday, once that rain clears and it starts warming up, it's gonna be like everybody's gonna just start pouring out of their houses,
Yes.
and they're gonna be trying to rush to do stuff. And
Yes. Oh my God, I gotta get the yard in order. Don't even bother. It's March.
It's gonna snow again.
Yes, we'll have at least a couple more days of snow.
I think what I will do though is I am going to do the gutter probably. I'm going to take a chance and get some of the stuff out of the gutter that probably didn't get at the end of the season. I got a tree that falls late, and I didn't get up there after it snowed. I'm not going back up there. So I probably should do that. And then trash.
Yeah.
There's like garbage, get caught up under the snow, rolling down. I'm on a street that goes right to the school, so all the kids walk up and down here. So I already see crap like it's showing itself from the melted. So I'll probably do that.
Yeah, I'm going to do some, again,
but
minimal,
I'm not going
not really yard work, just trying to clean up some of the garbage out of there.
Yeah.
And then try to get the garage a little straightened out from winter. You just put through all the Christmas stuff in there. Now I'm going to try to put things away.
Bam, that's about where I was going to go. I said, I think I'm going to have no choice but to go and get the attic straightened away and get all the Christmas stuff put away because it's in tubs waiting to go up. But I wasn't going out there when it was freezing ass cold.
No.
And so now 65.
Same thing. It's in the tubs. I'll just put it where it needs to go while smoking a cigar.
Right.
And,
on a day like that.
And it is definitely grilling. It's going to be steaks. I'll probably get some asparagus, some Redskins. I'm grilling out there.
Yeah, that might be a perfect day, for that. That's a great idea, Moose. I think we are in lockstep. I think I'm going to do the same exact thing.
Going to Cattleman's, and I'll get me either some Delmonico's or a couple strips, whatever looks best.
Yeah, there's something to be said, about, barbecue and having the garage open, putzing around. You got the radio on, smoking a cigar, having a beverage, like you said, smoking some meat. It's just, I don't know, man. Like, it's something to be said about that. So yeah, I'll get it in. It's one day, it'll go away, and you'll have to wait a month, 6 weeks to do it again.
Yep.
So take advantage of it, I guess.
Right.
I got a lot of things that I could be doing, but like when that pops up, you got to take advantage of it, right? Like I don't necessarily I would rather be doing other things, but I think it would be prudent to get in, take care of that kind of stuff, because in 6 weeks or whatever it is when the weather does break, I don't want to deal with that crap then.
Right.
You feel like you're behind the 8 ball already.
Right. That's why I get it done now. Get it finished up on here, so when it breaks for good,
well, that's how
then I can get the whole yard in order.
And that's how Michigan is. If you've lived here your whole life, you kind of, or for even a few seasons, you kind of get the idea that, like, you know, yeah, you got to sneak that in. You got to sneak it in when you can get it.
Yes, I mean, I got a friend that lives up in Calumet, and they're already at 245 inches of snow for the year.
Jeez,
that was as of last week.
That's insane.
Where snow is 10 feet tall in his driveway on the side, because he's got his. Usually, he goes, yeah, on there. And when they actually have a huge industrial like snow plow on a truck, and they're just so they can get the road plowed,
right?
So you can fit 2 cars at the same time again. But we got, again, lots here to talk about. As we said, MLB is doing everything they can to kill themselves.
They are. They just don't like their own sport. They just want it all to die, apparently.
Yes, and when you have a commissioner that's Bettman is saying thank you. You know, I'm no longer.
Oh, yeah. I'm no longer the worst commissioner in sports.
Rob Manfred is by far the worst commissioner, and it's not even close.
Well, to me, it's one of those things where, at the moment, because this is so but to me this falls on ownership. But I mean, he works for them in the end. What is he supposed to do? You know, it's the same thing with Goodell. We hate Goodell for whatever reasons, but he's there to be a bulletproof vest. That's what he's there for. So like I don't think any sports commissioner is any different in that respect. And to me, this baseball strike, it's on the owners, and it's easy to blame the players because we see those huge contracts, you know, publicized and da 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 da, and you know, their lifestyles, and then they're complaining about not having enough money, but you know, they put out these record contracts, and it's like, yeah, but the disparity between the bottom and the top is like super significant, and there's business and union things, there's all these things that's going on that you would want negotiated for you as well if you were. If you had that available to you in your line of work. So, and you may, depending on, you know, what you might work for a union, and they'll do this kind of thing too, where they're trying to get you competitive wages and make sure you're working and all those different things. And so, I can't really put this one on the players when the owners sandbagged for a month and a half.
Yeah,
the negotiations to begin with, just to put it in this situation to basically to strong arm the players,
right? Because
now they're going to start missing money, and they're affected by losing games. The owners aren't, because they've got TV deals to fall back on. So you know what? The owners would prefer less games because it's less nonsense for them. They can still get the money they need off their TV deals, you know, and eliminate some of these games. Because kind of the regional nature of the sport, they can get away with that. And so, yeah, if you shave off 15 games, 20 games, they don't care. But players do.
Right.
You know, and so that's what they did. They positioned this so they could strong arm them into doing what they want done. And to me, that's just dirty pool right off from Jump Street. Like, and
again, the one issue too also is they're doing it with the baseball union, which is of all sports on there is the strongest union of all sports.
Well, and that's what I
mean, they're on there. They're the most militant on there with it.
Sure.
And again, as you said, Rob Manfred on there. I mean, baseball hasn't had a real commissioner since Fay Vincent, which has been 30 years since he was commissioner.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, Fay Vincent and Bart Giamatti. Peter Ueberroth did a nice job too. But again, after that, it was Bud Selig. And so really.
Yeah. It's been there's no doubt about it. But I mean, once again, it's about the ownership kind of runs it. It's not really like I said, I don't see the commissioner as anything but the bulletproof vest, the puppet, the mouthpiece, the fall guy, all of that. That's what he's there for. What other job does he have? We didn't do anything for the players.
No.
He doesn't do anything for the union. He doesn't work So I don't know. Who else does he work for? Who cuts the check? The owners cut the check, right?
Right. They're the
well,
ones
then he
cutting
works
the
for the. So that's what he is.
And when you
That's-
hire them, they've got to approve you to be the commissioner.
Right.
So, so you're
this
just
is what
basically
it is.
a stooge for the for the owners. I mean,
so
that's-
to me, you could go after the worst commissioner or whatever. It has nothing to do with the worst commissioner. There's no such thing as the worst commissioner. You know what? The worst commissioner is the best commissioner. You know why? Because he is eating the most shit, and that's what he's paid to do.
I mean,
right?
Yeah. I mean,
Right?
but I do agree with it to an extent on there. Like Adam Silver is still with the owners there, but he's.
I mean,
still
as far as a
he's
fan friendly, yeah, you
more
know,
family, I still see.
you like-
I
there's
still
other
think
GMs
he's looking
that are
at it
better,
as the
sure.
betterment of the game as a whole on here. And again, with that, but yeah, I mean, Manfred is just an unmitigated disaster. Because he keeps trying to tweak the game and doing stupid rules. It's like, dude, you could fix this real freaking easy. You
Well,
know?
but once again, he's not doing anything. Nothing he does is getting done
No.
without ownership. There's nothing. He's not doing it. Like that's what I'm saying.
But even the ideas he comes up with that
Well,
goes in
sure.
there,
There's all kinds of guys that come. There's all kinds of guys that come up with dumb ideas. I hear them on the radio all day long. All day long. They get paid to come up with dumb ideas. And then they wait for people to give them their dumb ideas for free. And we're going to do the same thing.
Yes.
Open up the text line. If you guys want to be anonymous and you don't want to get in on the social media back and forth, I get it. So we've got a text line for you. 313-307-5340. Anything, we're going to have a few things on the docket. Feel free to kind of shift gears for us if you want, move us around. We'll just kind of go where you want to go, but there's no way we're not talking MLB right now. So
Yeah.
we usually kind of whip around a little bit, and there's plenty of stuff to get into with the Lakers and NBA and what we tell you, don't sleep on Utah.
Kane Vasquez.
Yeah, Kane Velasquez thing, that we got that for sure. There's lots to get into today. So, but yeah, the USFL and that mess. So we'll get into all that today, but right now, MLB is where it's at, but, feel free 313-307-5340. Hit us up. If you want to be anonymous, I'll just throw out your zip code. So
also Jeter is stepping down as the Marlins CEO.
yeah, Jeter. Yeah.
I wonder if he
There
left
you go.
him a gift basket as he does all his conquest with a little autographed baseball.
It's the same one he gave J-Lo.
J-Lo, Scarlett Johansson,
They're
Mariah
exactly
Carey.
they're exactly the same. It's the same one. He's just got like 10 of them still left in the closet. Once his jig was up, he's like, "Oh shit, I'm never going to use these again." And now he's giving them to whoever.
I'll give it to my the Marlins. Here, I'm leaving.
Yeah,
Here,
I'm
here's a
leaving
gift
you.
basket.
Yeah, you can
Here's a
have
gift
this.
basket. You get a gift basket.
Yes, he is the Oprah of gift baskets, of breakup gift baskets. I never heard of breakup gift baskets, but if there is
Was it
one,
really gift breakup, or was it just
they-
like a one night stand gift
if
basket?
you go, do they have a Jeter at edible arrangements? Like if you go to edible arrangements, like I'd like the Jeter. Do they like have one ready for you? Like, oh, I know exactly. What
we
it
know
is.
exactly which one. It's this one here with the baseball autographed baseball.
Yes.
That is $79.95.
Oh yeah. I'm like, damn, he's a cheap ass. Makes all that money. Throwing $80 worth of cut vegetables on a stick.
Yeah, he basically said, I couldn't build
They're
a winner
fruit.
there, but I wanted to take a chance. Dude, again, it's time for
That guy.
the Marlins just to fold or move.
I say move him somewhere. Like there's places that would like baseball that doesn't have it.
Yeah.
That you could probably sell. I mean, they don't turn out.
Somewhere in the Carolinas.
Yeah. I mean,
Carolinas,
Sure.
Nashville, something like that.
I think there's plenty of play. But the problem is,
Montreal.
the problem is, the problem is baseball is like killing itself right
Yeah.
now with this, and that's the biggest problem with me. I think that's going to be. Do they recover from this? Like, kids
Well, you don't have two guys shooting up steroids, hitting bombs 3 years after the strike to save the damn sport.
Well, that's the thing. That's a huge thing. You don't have anything right now. The sport is on probably its biggest dip from a young fan, new fan, growth kind of standpoint. From that kind of demographic, they're just like crap in the bed and all of those. Like they're not. The future of the sport is as grim as it can be already going into this, like, to have any significant stoppage is just really the optics of all of this is horrible. And the fact that they're going to have a stoppage and could have a significant stoppage, because it doesn't sound like they're close, really.
No.
And that's just, I mean, that's catastrophic. Honestly, just like, especially in this state, which is like a melting pot of cultures, you just roll in MLS.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's going to happen. Fans are just going to stop watching baseball, dude. They're just, we have an attention span of like, oh, I don't know, it's over already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm already done. I'm already on to the next thing that fast. You know, a perfect example is all the cats that tune in. It goes up and down, up and down, up and down. They listen to us for 10 seconds. They go, yep, fuck these guys. And they keep on moving. And so, like, people do that. And so, what do you think's happening to baseball already? Like, what do you think's happening now? Yeah, okay, you don't have part of a seat. Oh, fuck, it's summertime. Fuck you. What, we're going to have USFL here, hopefully. Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. But, yeah, we get spring football, or at least the attempts at it. And we're going to have multiple attempts at it because you still got the XFL next year. And like, I don't care. I will do other things. Like, baseball isn't like that big of a thing. Right. Opening day used to be a huge thing, and it's still relatively big depending on your town. It is big here, but like, I got news for you: Detroiters will find something else to do that day.
Yeah,
I mean, we got beaches everywhere. You know,
we got literally a lake within 20 minutes of no matter where you live.
Right, like there's something we'll find to kind of just occupy our time. We don't really care. Opening days usually sucks here anyway, weather-wise.
Yeah.
So you just, you're not leaving the office early that day. That's all.
Good. I don't have to dress up in a snowsuit to go to opening day.
Yeah, exactly. And hang out with the office people. I don't even really like that much because that's like half of what opening day is. It's all the corporate sellout tickets and then like the season ticket holder people. Right. Right.
That's when I had the 20 game packages 2 years in a row, we sold opening day. You know why? Because it paid for our season tickets, or at least half of them. Mm-hmm. So why not? I'm not going again. I went to opening day once and I froze my ass off. I'm like, no. Yeah. First of all, again, opening day here should be like mid-April, not like end of March.
I know.
Would it kill you just to open us on the road? I don't know, Tampa and Texas, and I don't know, go out west and play in Oakland or something like that? No, it wouldn't kill you to do that for us. No, but no, we got to have like 6 games in a row here at the end of March. Seriously. It's like, God.
Yeah.
Well, they don't want to give up. You know what? Nobody wants to go to a game in Texas in the afternoon in July because it's like 170 degrees.
Right. Yeah. It's I just feel like they don't think about that stuff sometimes, and you know, whatever. But once again, it's just about pumping these games out and doing whatever, and the TV deals and what works for all that.
Baseball was already on the decline. This just as accelerates it.
Yeah. This I think this accelerates it significantly. It could accelerate it to a position of like not being able to bring it back to the prominence. This is not America's game anymore.
No.
Football by far is. We've talked about it before. But
NFL's king, and it's
NFL's king, and I think if you did a poll, I think more people would be disappointed in the loss of like probably basketball and hockey than they are of baseball. The potential to lose a season. So maybe not. Maybe it's closer than I think, but I don't think it's even close with the NFL. I think the NFL blows all the other sports away. I think if we don't have the NFL, we'd lose our minds here. But we could probably live without all the other sports for a season if we had to. And we found, like I said, we found out we'll move on. We'll do other stuff. When sports was gone, we did other things, you know, and we found other ways. So, like, it's even easier now, right? We went through the pandemic where there was no sports.
Right.
At all, of any kind.
We handled it.
And we dealt with it. We found other ways, other things. So don't think that when all the other sports are going and you're the only one that's sitting at home like an idiot, that all of a sudden we're just going to be like, oh, my God, they're going to have baseball. No, we're going to move on to other stuff, man. We're going to move on to other stuff.
Yeah.
Like, remember we were watching, like, drone races and all kinds of dumb stuff, just to cornhole tournaments. And the reason why the Last Dance was so damn popular is because what? There wasn't another damn sport related anything on television anywhere.
Right. Heck yeah. I mean, people are going to be like, all right, we'll find something to do.
So-
oh, I got season tickets behind home plate on here, 4 of them, and it's costing me whatever. You know what? I'm buying a boat.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I could do something with my money. I don't have to do that. And it was
Sunday when it's like 85 degrees. I got to go to the baseball game. Or guess what? Oh, there's no baseball. I got a boat.
Yeah,
I'm going out there to the lake.
Yeah, I'm doing this, that, and the other. So, I mean,
the beer is cheaper because I could just stock up my cooler and go.
this is what baseball's got to do. They got to stop, like, trying to murder themselves. They got to stop trying to commit suicide here. And then they need to take this game, make a couple minor tweaks that we know would be easy. We've kind of talked about them a million times. And then just utilize the fact that you're the slowest moving sport, like, you know, in its natural pace, and take advantage of that and do in-game betting like a mother. Like just crank the crap out of the in-game.
You could do
make
that
your whole drive, and because to me, this is going to be the way of horse racing. Horse racing is purely gambling driven.
Right.
Nobody goes to watch horses just to watch horses.
No.
Everybody's gambling on the horse.
Well, if you love horses, you're not going to go watch raw horse racing because they're beating the hell out of the horses.
That's what I'm
and they're
saying.
shooting up with all sorts of drugs and everything else.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
mean, talk about a sport that's corrupt, like boxing. Boxing used to be the king, the big draw. Now it's like they killed themselves too.
Yeah.
I mean, get some aspects with the salary cap, the players don't want it. Dude, there's pluses and money there. You can have a maximum cap, but you can also have a minimum cap.
Yeah, there's a floor.
You're not going to have teams with $60 million payrolls anymore. They're going to have to spend $120 million, plain and simple, or $100 million. So everybody, you're going to get more parity if you go down. So the players need to realize, you know what, that benefits us. The fans will like it because other small market teams, they wouldn't have a shot. Suddenly go like, wow, they got some better players there. They may have a shot to get to there more often than that. So I think parity on just like the NFL. There's parity. 6 or 7 teams switch every year for the playoffs.
Right.
That's good.
Well, yeah, but they have profit sharing and all that.
Well, you
stuff.
have to do the same thing too, like that. You like
and that's why they're motivated to do that. In MLB, it's much more individual. Almost like we talk about it being regional. It's almost an individual business, right? Where and each team, I guess, is that to a certain extent, but. And baseball, yeah, I mean, I don't know what their profit sharing scenario is, but the way it's structured in the NFL, that's part of the deal. If we all have that kind of parity, then everybody's got a chance at making a little bit of that extra money. But in the end, we're all getting a slice of the pie anyway.
Right.
So, but like all this, the way this shit was handled has been dirty pool from the beginning. And once again, I get it that the players at the bottom, and we were talking about that with having that floor on the salary cap, the players at the bottom are the ones that are the ones that are affected most by the way stuff is now, and those are the ones but they're not the voices you're hearing. The voices are the ones of all the guys that make all that big money.
Yeah.
And so the voices are the voices of the owners and the voices of the cats that make the top contracts. But nobody's speaking for the cats that are actually affected here.
Right.
So what are we even talking about? So to me, once again, it's millionaires arguing over billionaires while the other cats that are just trying to get up to that are stuck in their world, are just getting left behind and nobody cares.
Right.
And it doesn't matter. And so baseball doesn't get played, the fans aren't going to give a
no.
And I feel like that's where we're at this point.
I mean, here locally, we've got a developmental minor league up there in Utica. We'll just go there.
Oh yeah, you can go to Jimmy John's.
Go to Jimmy John's, and
yeah.
it's a hell of a lot cheaper, and the beer is just as good, and actually it's better, and it's cheaper.
Yeah, yep. It's a
what?
neat park too.
Yeah, the quality of the ball's in on it, but you know what? Hell,
right.
Still the way to spend the summer evening.
Dude, we're 45 minutes from the Mud Hens.
Right. We're an hour and 10 minutes from the Lugnuts.
There's all kinds of different.
We're like 2 hours from the Whitecaps.
There's all kinds of different stuff to do. Like, you don't have to do that. Like, they've got They got all kinds of stuff.
You got you probably have friends and family whose kids are in travel ball. Guess what? We're playing this weekend up in Marysville. Oh,
Sure.
we're going to go up there and watch it for a Saturday afternoon and watch it play 2 or 3 games. It doesn't cost you. It doesn't cost you anything.
And like I said, there's going to be other sporting things going on. If you got the USFL stuff going on, you've got the NBA and NHL goes for quite a while yet. I know we're getting into the playoffs here soon, but. I mean, you got a little bit yet, and then when it gets into summertime, what do? Moose? There's not much going on. It's just baseball, and baseball is just baseball. So now, if there's no baseball, then we're just watching other stuff. If there's USFL, I think I'm talking more about that than baseball.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And then there's other stuff going on. Shoot, the Globetrotters are still trolling around. You can go to stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They got is the Big Three still doing their thing? I mean, that league's still around.
Yeah.
Like, there's other options out there. The XFL is going to come through. Like, there's all kinds of stuff, dude. They got like frisbee golf and they got all kinds of goofy stuff.
Regular golf. Yeah. You can do all sorts of stuff. There's all kinds of need to do all
cool,
that.
Things that you can go check out. You've got all the we used to call the hillbilly sports. With like the monster truck pulls and monster trucks and derbies and mud bogging and all those crazy different shows. Those are always rolling through here. I think the monster trucks just came through here not that long ago.
Yeah.
So like, there's all kinds of different things that people will find to do. Baseball, can't really afford to lose eyes right now. I don't think.
No, that's on there. And again, they're doing everything they can to just shoot themselves right in the foot.
It sure feels like it. So, but I don't know. We'll see what they do. They need to get this thing back on and rolling, and they need to inject that game with a little something. Put a pitch clock on it, whatever, 30-second pitch clock.
Just they have like a basically laser on their computer to call the balls and strikes. Just get them. I want
an automated strike zone, and I want a 30-second pitch clock.
Yeah. And guess what? You don't keep to get stepping out of the batter's box and readjust your gloves and put your hand on there, get some wood pine tar.
Yeah, none of that shit.
No, get up there and hit the damn ball.
Yeah. So I think if you do that stuff, and then you just, since everything is all about the sports betting and all that, then just do all this in-game gambling and betting, because the game's slow enough that you could really do some really cool betting in-game stuff. As things change, the odds will change, and people will have time to bet, a la horse racing, right?
Yeah.
So just treat it like that, and I think that's their only. If they don't, because there is no, unless they're gonna allow some steroid era to happen again or something. I mean, you needed that to bail you out last time, so I don't know that's gonna. I don't know. So
yeah, you got lucky. You had 2
yeah, I mean, what else can I say? That's what it feels like last time. So
because you almost killed the sport the last time on there, and dude, you're gonna do it this time for sure. With that, so also we got the NBA action going on there. Laker fans are starting to turn on the Lakers and LeBron. I love it, and he's not happy. He's whining.
He can't handle this stuff. No. Man. He don't want that smoke.
Dude, it's your own fault. You built the team. You influenced on who they were going to sign and do all this and trade and all that.
Influenced my ass. He was like the effing GM. Wow.
I was just going to.
I mean, I know you're just trying to be nice. Yeah, you're trying to be, practical here, but I'm a realist, dude.
He was calling the shots.
He was, dude. I don't want to hear it.
He was telling Rob Pelinka, you're going to do this, this, and this.
Now, look, when he brought them cats in there and he said he wanted those cats, we questioned it obviously here on the air. We got the tape. We can go to it, whatever. It doesn't matter, because other cats questioned it too. And he addressed it at the time. What you mean we're old? We're, this, that, and the other. And it's like, dude, you're all broke down old MFers except for you. But you're going to be there eventually. And you can't carry all these crippled ass fools on your back.
Right.
And so, and he's just like a dick about it. He is obviously rattled by the fact that he is not winning. This will be think about his career. When has he not won? He's always won.
Well, yeah,
They ain't gonna win. They ain't gonna win nothing.
They may not make even the play-in
That's
game.
what I'm saying.
The play-ins on there to
That's what
get
I'm
into it. They're ranked number 9 right now in the West. They're 7 games under 500. Their last 10, they're 3-7. They've lost 3 in a row. It's not gonna. I mean, if you get passed up by New Orleans without Zion and Portland with basically just Damian, dude, they're only 2 games from being number 11.
Yeah. Yep.
And they go, oh, yeah, we didn't make the playoffs. Well, you ain't got a draft pick. Guess what? That goes to somebody else.
They don't have a draft pick
Till
for
2026, they don't have a first-round draft pick.
That's nuts.
You destroyed a franchise for the better part of a decade.
And now you're talking about, potentially going somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, I destroyed it. I'm going to go somewhere else. If
like-
I'm a general manager or an owner, yes, he's a
not.
great player.
Yeah,
but, dude,
touch
you
him.
don't get to call shit.
I wouldn't touch him, to be honest with you, because
Dude, plus he's 37 years old.
Mhm.
Now, just
That's-
like that again, like Green Bay saying, "Oh, yeah, well, we want 3 number ones for Rodgers." You ain't getting 3 number ones for Rodgers.
see that's my whole problem. I wouldn't want to. I don't want to. I don't want LeBron. I don't want all the stuff that comes with him. I don't want the headache. Everybody's like talking about, oh, what do you mean they're going to draft his son so they can get a 2-for-1? Why would you want that smoke?
No.
Why would you want that, dude? I don't get it, man. I mean, and he's still, 2 years out before he's even eligible for the league?
Yeah.
So, and then someone's going to take a flyer on him for a
Wouldn't
what?
it be just wonderful?
For what? A 38, 40-year-old LeBron James?
Well, wouldn't it be wonderful? He's stuck with the Lakers and they're not trading him. Nobody will trade for him. He's stuck there, and Bronny comes out there in the draft and someone else drafts him and you don't get to play with him because that was his whole dream to do that.
Well, my whole thing is I believe that LeBron will be at a free agent scenario at that point when Bronny's getting drafted. So whoever drafts him, he's going to go to him and go, okay, well, first off, he's going to be flexing on fools on who he wants to draft.
Right.
Hey, no, I'm coming. If you draft him, I'll come. And then, he'll just be working that angle. So one team will take a flyer and reach on this kid who's probably not even good enough to play in the league. He's definitely not the best player on his team right now. So, and I don't see that being a huge change in 2 years. So
Yeah, he's not as good as he's definitely not as good as LaMelo or even Lonzo Ball right now.
so they're
when
gonna
play.
so they're gonna take a flyer on someone that's probably not even ready for the league, just in hopes to get LeBron. This
a
whole
40-year-old LeBron.
That's what
Really?
I'm saying. Like, I don't understand these theories that these cats have. This is what I'm listening to, and I don't get it. To me, we were just sitting here like common sensing this thing through, right? Who the hell does this shit?
Right.
I don't care how good LeBron is.
It's not like a 25-year-old LeBron and it's his 16-year-old little brother who's ready to come. I want to play with my little brother.
Yeah.
Great. Okay,
Right.
you're 20.
Yeah.
You're 28. You're in the peak. Yeah, all right, we'll do that.
Yeah, right,
You're 40.
right.
No.
Yeah, you're 40. I don't want your kid. Your kid's not even NBA ready. You're 40. What do I want you guys for?
Right.
Now you're gonna soak up all this, and then you're gonna do whatever to my locker
And you're going to
room.
want what for contract-wise payment? No,
Right.
that's not happening. You
What-
get
what-
get league minimum.
What do you think that locker room's gonna be like?
Well, like the Lakers locker room, a freaking disaster.
I mean, he doesn't feel like he breeds a great culture in that locker room. I don't think he's ever really has. He's never been a part of that. Like, he hasn't bred like a good culture in the locker room. He went to when he was in Cleveland, it was a mess, and then he left, and then everybody else, he wasn't the guy in Miami.
No.
It was D Wade.
It was D Wade.
And then when he went back to Cleveland, he was the guy, and
You got your solo.
Right, but the locker room wasn't harmonious.
No, God,
even though
no.
he picked the guys that they got.
Right, and he was all again. Why do you think Kyrie left on there after they won the championship?
Right.
Because no, this is a freaking. You know what? I'm tired of playing on it.
Right.
I'm the reason you won that once ring there in Cleveland.
Yeah, you can make that argument. Sure, absolutely. Yep, it's a legitimate argument for sure.
That and
I mean, he made the shots that mattered.
yes,
So, But
that and Draymond being suspended for game 6.
yeah, that didn't. I was gonna say, yeah, it didn't hurt either. But I can't. So it's like, it's not like he creates this harmonious. So what do you think it's gonna be like putting him and his kid in a locker room?
Be an unmitigated disaster.
I mean, that kid, the entitlement on that kid's probably got to be overwhelming for someone his age, because I know how LeBron acts. I mean, I can only imagine how his kid acts. Man, so like, I don't see. So to me, they're talking about, there's a team that'll do that. There's a team that'll take a flyer on. There's a team that'll do. Who? Because they're an idiot.
Well, Sacramento.
I mean, maybe.
I mean, come on, they traded their best player, Halliburton, for, I don't know, dude. You should have got rid of Fox, not Halliburton.
I heard the greatest audio today. I was listening to CBS Sports Radio, and this guy called into the radio station so mad about the Lakers losing that he started yelling about all these people that are rolling over in their grave. And he's like, Vlade Divac is rolling over in his grave. And then he's like, Rick Fox is rolling over in his grave. And it's like, dude, none of these guys are dead. Like, he just started ripping all of it. He went on this whole tirade, this whole rant about how horrible the Lakers were and how LeBron just messed up the team and nobody could stay healthy and Westbrook can't play. And then he's like, and then he starts going out about these guys all rolling over in their grave and none of them are dead. It was so flipping funny. I was like, that guy needs to be on the show. That guy's great. I don't even know what he's saying.
He's not dead.
He's not dead. Rick Fox was just in a movie.
Really? You're gonna blame Vlade? I mean, did you see some of the moves Vlade made as general manager of the Kings? I mean, just here, give us your number 1 pick, and we'll give you this bum and 2 cartons of smokes. Okay, smokes.
Well, he's talking
cigarettes.
He's talking about the poor performance of the team and how it was put together and everything, and how these guys would all be rolling over in their grave if they could see this team right now. And it's like, none of them are dead. They're all, like, Rick Fox just did a movie. Like, what are we talking about here? I mean, did you think he died when he died? Like, did he die in the movie and you thought that was real life? Like, I don't know what we're talking about here. It was funny though.
Rick Fox.
He was so his voice, you could just tell it was like he was just screaming it, and it was so funny. He was so impassioned. It was great. It made no sense whatsoever. It was so awesome.
The most successful thing Rick Fox ever did was when he married Vanessa Williams.
Damn straight. Damn straight.
Because he wasn't that good of a player at North Carolina, and definitely not that great of a player in the pros.
That is by far the best thing he ever did.
That was the most successful individual achievement he's ever done.
Yeah. That's the best thing he ever did by far. Oh, shoot. Well, that was horrible.
But yeah, we got that on there. Yeah, it's funny to see that.
But shoot, look at Utah playing and
Phoenix.
Phoenix is going to be an issue now because they,
yeah, they've lost 2 in a row.
Yeah,
so,
they're a little on shaky ground. I think the
Utah
Chris Paul
and Memphis.
Thing,
oh, John Morant. Jesus.
Dude, that's the talk of the league right now. That guy is unreal, dude. Unreal. Did you see that in the corner thing? They that pass was full court. He's in the far 3-point corner, and homeboy chucks it on an inbound full court like a football.
Yeah.
He's double covered. There is 0.4 seconds left on the clock. He jumps up in the air, triple covered, and kind of just with his hand pushes it while it's in the air.
Yeah.
And the damn thing drops. I mean, it's just, he's ridiculous for he's posterizing guys twice his size.
Yes.
And I can't remember the guy's name now. Before I lose it, I wanted to say something about it. He's in the G League now. He played for Michigan.
Oh, Stauskas. 57 points last night.
In the G League. Whatever. So crazy.
All right. John Morant, basically, let's see here.
52
52 points against San Antonio.
Yeah.
was it 2 days before, goes for 46 against the Bulls, which is a really good team.
Yeah.
He has so they lost. They had a bad game against Memphis, a terrible game. Well, he played in the All-Star game, did not. But in Portland, just before the All-Star break, 44 points.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just the way he's kind of doing it from everywhere, right? He's shooting from the logo. He's making crazy shots. He's taking it to the rack. He's posterizing guys twice his size. He's kind of just doing all kinds of fun stuff. Yeah. And he's not a big guy, so
no. He's only 6'3", and he's a slender build too. He's only 175 pounds.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, he's like 15 pounds and 2 inches on me. Right. That's it. He's not a big guy. No. He's 15 pounds and 2 inches on me. Really, 3 inches on me. So So it is nice to see. I think cats and I think the average like casual fan enjoys to see that guy that isn't like the super freak athlete.
Right.
That comes out. That's what that's got to be the draw to Steph
Well, I remember
Curry.
watching him what he did at Murray State. Dude can just flat out shoot and score and do.
Right, but does it translate to the league? How many times have you had those Murray State guys come into the league and just not really produce per se? So to come in and do what he's doing is unprecedented, no matter the university. But to come from a place that isn't necessarily known for pumping out players of that caliber, we'll see. He's had a good stretch here, and he's having a great season, and you could make an argument for MVP. But we'll see how it goes forward. But yeah, definitely fun basketball with him this year. Holy cow! And
over the weekend and that Dallas versus Golden State. Dallas goes on like a 27-3 run to close out that game or something ridiculous.
Well, Dallas is like, I don't know what happened to Luka, but he decided he owns LeBron James.
Yes.
Too. So, like, he's out there playing on another level. So that team in the playoffs, I don't want them.
Oh, God, I don't care. Because now he's healthy and he's all set and everything.
Did you see how he looks at LeBron like he's a mismatch and he's going to smoke him? Yeah. And he did that all game long?
Yes.
He muscled LeBron around, dude. He muscled him around. He out-physicaled LeBron. He dunked on him. He pushed him around. He did what he wanted. He came in on a rebound and flush and stuffed with dudes, just didn't bother boxing him out.
Oh,
he just blew through him.
Boom.
And
posterizes Dwight Howard.
Yeah,
boom.
That's who it was. Dwight Howard. He dunked on like that with that one. Oh my goodness. So to me, I just don't. I don't. Yeah. We talked about Utah. We talked about Phoenix. We talked about these teams that are good in the West, and I don't want any part of Dallas and Luka and the way they play. I don't want none of it. And none of these conversations when it comes to the West has to do with the Lakers. I don't even see a path for them in the playoffs at this point because they just can't beat anybody.
No,
and they can't stay healthy, and there's no consistency. There's zero depth. And what are you going to do? What are you going to do with that geriatric? There's nothing you can do. You can't just make them all of a sudden.
We said that on it. You got rid of all your youth. You got rid of your draft picks for a bunch of geriatrics and a guy that never stays healthy.
Yep.
And now,
never has.
Well, they won in the bubble. Yeah, because they had the bubble.
They had 4 months off.
They got healthy, and they basically had nothing to do, and they weren't distracted, and they had to put up with listen to LeBron and say, okay, we'll listen to you.
They had 4 months off in the middle of the season and fast-tracked to the playoffs in a fucking consolidated schedule where, it was nothing. You were inside that bubble where it was all about the athletics and not about anything else. I'm not hearing that. Dude, that will be the biggest asterisk of any championship ever. The one in the bubble. To me, that one shouldn't even count. It's just thank you for entertaining us.
Yeah.
Thank you. You obligated your television contracts. You gave us something to watch. You earned some money, but it wasn't real. It wasn't real.
No.
It was a series of exhibitions, and thank you. Thank you for that. But to me, that wasn't a season.
No.
To me, that season it wasn't a season. The bubble season was not a season. Thank you for the exhibition. That's all it was. To me. There's no way to make this thing even or right or fair, and because everybody's affected differently by this change and the way they kind of handled it. Some teams didn't even get in the bubble, so like, I don't know, weren't even invited, right, to the party. So it's just whatever. It's a mess. It was a mess.
And in the East, you got Brooklyn.
Well, to me, it's going to be about the Sixers and the Bucks going down the stretch. I mean, other teams, you're going to have other teams that are going to come in and do stuff. But I mean,
what can the Sixers do down the stretch? What can the Bucks do down the stretch? Freaking Miami though, 9-1 in their last 10.
Yeah,
4 in a row.
Yeah, you're going to have those teams that are going to do that, right? That's the thing about the East. You know, it was Miami in the bubble. It looks like it could be in Miami this year. It was, the Celtics. It's been the Celtics a few times here and there, and they've ultimately underachieved, I guess, from what expectations got reset to. But I think in the end, you're just looking at the top 2 or 3 teams, and I don't.
Yes.
To me, it just feels like. Yeah, to me, it's all about the Bucks and the Sixers. Brooklyn was obviously not gonna happen. Such a mess. That whole scenario goes right back to the whole like locker room, the mix of youth and experience and low, mid-level, high contracts, all that kind of stuff. Like they didn't have a good dynamic there either, and it's the same result. What did everybody say? Oh, Lakers, we're gonna get LA, New York. We're gonna get the Lakers, Brooklyn, LA, New York, and both them teams are.
Yeah, both LA teams are
right.
Both New York teams are Yeah,
you're
not getting either of them.
So you're not getting none of that. So,
did you hear Barkley saying Giannis would be a guy coming off the bench? He wouldn't even be a starter in the NBA when his era and that was.
Yeah, he's just talking shit now.
Yeah, he's just like, dude, Giannis would have been a starter.
Okay, I got news for you. If Giannis came up in your era, he'd be smashing fools.
Right.
Because he would have came up like that.
Right.
He'd have came up playing physical ball.
Right.
So,
and he's so much bigger and faster than you clowns were.
Yeah, like if he came up that size, that speed, that strength, and was learned to play under your rules, he would have played under your rules. He would. Don't get it twisted, man. Don't think because he came up in an era where they didn't hand check that he couldn't handle it.
Right.
He would just do it back. You know what I'm saying? Like it goes both ways. You know, imagine him with Bill Laimbeer's attitude.
Oh my God, help us all.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not hearing that. I'm not hearing that. Now some of these guys, Steph Curry, you want to make an argument that Steph Curry wouldn't be who Steph Curry is if he played in that era? I'll listen to that conversation. Because being that physical with somebody in an era where the 3-point wasn't as big of a deal in the game, I don't know that he would have been. Yeah,
because the coaches wouldn't allowed him to be that free range to just shoot from anywhere on the court and that.
Right. So I don't know if he would have been as big. I'm not saying he wouldn't have made the league. I'm not saying he wouldn't have been a starting. I'm just saying that the heights that we know him. If you want to make, I'll make that argument. Like, okay, but other than that, no, dude. If you were born in that era and raised in that area, you would play just as fine.
Like that in that era.
Yeah. Like, I'm not hearing that. That's just so stupid.
So don't give me that, dude. Yeah,
it's just a dumb argument. It doesn't make any sense. Now, when you switch, when we have the argument, but what about you? When you're in the transitional point, then that's a little different, right?
Right.
So you have teams. It's like Oakley in the Knicks. They couldn't make it through the transition.
No, they couldn't. Yeah, no way could that Knicks team play today. They'd be like everybody be fouled out by the third quarter.
Right. So, but if they came up in this era,
Then they would learn on it.
They would have played that. They would have played
but
differently.
nobody on that team could really shoot.
Right.
And come on, remember John Starks in the finals when he was
I
terrible.
know. Brick City.
I mean, every talks about, the Pistons were the worst. I mean, they were the thugs and everything. Dude, those Pistons teams could score 110 points without even
they
thinking.
averaged 110 points.
I know, so don't give me this crap. They could play great defense, and they could all shoot.
Yeah. So it was, like I said,
Bill Laimbeer was like 20 years ahead of his time for a big man that could shoot the. He was the prototypical stretch four before they even knew there was a stretch four.
Yep.
So don't give me that crap.
Yep. It's funny because we're known for the physical style and stuff like that, but like we were doing all that stuff then that you're doing now.
Yeah.
And
we had the deepest bench in the league. Yeah. Wasn't he on there?
We were doing it then. We were just doing it with all that dirty deeds. So don't get it twisted. If you're brought up in that era, you'd have done, So yeah, if you want to make an argument that certain teams, that were there during the transition suffered, I'll listen to that argument. But no, if you came up in a certain era, you'd be just fine.
Yes, certain players, no matter, they could play in any era.
Yep.
Certain teams could just play in any era.
Yeah,
trust me. I mean, it's just on it. The Knicks, no, they couldn't play in today's because they couldn't shoot.
Yeah. Yeah, I think
you get that Showtime Lakers in this era on there. Holy crap!
Right, but I think they would have a problem shooting, but they'd play defense, they could do other stuff and still win games, right? Like we saw that with the 04 Pistons. Like you ended up having guys that could shoot, but it was whoever got to 71st. Remember that?
Oh God. It was painful. I mean, yes, I'm glad we won, but it was not entertaining. Some of those games. I mean, the Pistons and the Pacers, and you have the 78, 74. I was like, ugh.
I always found them to be entertaining because the reason why they always seemed to be low scoring was because of all these. I mean, think of how many big-time defensive plays happen during their one championship run.
Right.
I mean, if you were to put a litany of Pistons defensive highlights together, granted it would be mostly bad boys, but the proportion wouldn't be what it should be, right? Like, let's say you did all those reels, it would probably be 50-50, but the bad boys were around a lot longer than the working Pistons, go to work Pistons. So it just felt like there was a lot of like crazy defensive plays from, the way Ben played and Sheed played and Tayshaun's block from the other side of the planet. And like, there was just a lot of that going on in an era where you couldn't be physical.
Right. You imagine Sheed and Big Ben playing with the bad boys?
That's what I'm saying. They could play both eras.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was both eras.
I mean, you talk about getting physical. You can imagine Big Ben allowed to get physical with guys?
Uh-huh.
Holy. She allowed to get physical with guys?
Right. So, I just think, there's exceptions to every rule where it's like the Knicks, they wouldn't, they don't translate well. But a lot of these teams don't, aren't, well, hopefully you're not so heavy one way or the other that you can't play, but because like the Pistons are the 04 Pistons are an anomaly. Like how many teams, in the offensive era won championships with that kind of defense? I mean, it just doesn't.
And again, if she covers Robert Horry, then they went back to back.
Yeah.
Then they get counted into all-time great.
Yeah.
As one of the best teams of all time.
Sure.
With that, so yeah, I mean, it's just one fluke played and basically changes the whole dynamic of your way everybody looks at them. Is that instead of the anomaly, you go, they were really a damn good team.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
With that, so we still got lots here to talk about. We'll get into a little bit of hockey. We'll get some other sport action going on there as well. We'll get into the USFL. We'll get into that lawsuit.
Cain Velasquez stuff.
Cain Velasquez.
Yeah.
Phil Mickelson really shooting himself in the foot.
Oh, geez. I kind of caught that a little bit. That was just right out. That was like Thursday or Friday last week or something.
And it's even on there. So we'll get into that a little bit on there. We talked at least off air last week about it, and we'll get into it now this year on there, a week on there. So we got live here. Still lots more to talk about. Also, we'll get into maybe even a little bit of funness with the free agency. And there's a certain story going out there, and at least we'll just drop it here and see what happens on there on it. And after the flip side, we are DSR2 Studio 57 Radio.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Party people, this is the original Doc Ice, and you are definitely listening to Studio 57 Radio. And if Studio 57 Radio isn't on, then your radio ain't really on. Check that.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Hey everybody, Scrappy here to tell you about That Radio Show. Hang with me as I break down the world of entertainment with great guests, celebrity interviews, awesome games with wonderful prizes. Also, we've got the biggest library of underground hip-hop of any station on the net. You mix in a little stand-up comedy and a text line so your voice can be heard, and you got a pretty good little show. But add listener-controlled programming? Yeah, you heard me. Listener-controlled programming, where you, the listener, can decide what makes it on the air. And now you've got the greatest show ever created. So join my show, your show, our show, the people's show, That Radio Show, each and every Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, only here on Studio 57 Radio.
Hey everybody, this is your boy Big D, here to tell you about Mark for Life Tattoos. Guys, this place is the cleanest, most laid-back studio in Metro Detroit, and the artists are top-notch. And if you're like me from the D, you need to stop in on Fridays for that D-Day and get your old English D for only $20. Not interested in tattoos? Mark for Life does body piercings. Mark for Life is located at 22533 Van Dyke in Warren, and the guys are there 7 days a week from noon to 9. So give them a call at 757-2222. That's 586-757-2222. Tell them Studio 57 sent you and get 20% off. So what are you waiting for? Call them now.
Hey everybody, Smokey here to tell you about Allstate. With winter fast approaching, the most important thing between you and the road is your tires. So don't put your safety in just anybody's hands. Go to Allstate Tire. With new and quality used tires available, you can trust Allstate Tire for all your tire needs. You can visit them at 14208 9 Mile Road in Warren, or give them a call at 586-779-8759. Allstate Tire, your source for quality new and used tires.
What's happening, everybody? Scrappy here to tell you about Love and Life Club. Love and Life Club is a social networking club that's located at 19960 James Cousins. That's a lodge service drive between 7 and 8 Mile Road in the D. You need to stop in for $5 Fridays for great music, food, and drinks. I personally recommend the chicken. Love and Life Club is also available for rental for bachelor parties, wedding receptions, or any party for that matter. For more information, log on to www.loveandlifeclub.com. That's loveandlifeclub.com, or call D at 313-999-2824. That's 313-999-2824. That's Love and Life Club. If you love and life, you need to be in the club.
Taking over this broadcast on Ultimate Underground.
Studio 57 Radio Original. You know, when you hear that sound, you're gonna have a good time, because that's the sound of the Ultimate Underground live concert webcast from the Detroit area. We go to the most famous, or should I say infamous, venues in the D, and bring the underground music scene from the streets to your computer like nobody else can. There's only one catch. You never know when and where the Ultimate Underground is going to take over a broadcast. So you you need to stay tuned to Studio 57 Radio all day, every day, for clues on when and where the next Ultimate Underground may happen. Now, there's no other station on the net that's going to give you this live webcast of some of the hottest artists in the D. That's the Ultimate Underground live on your home for hip-hop, rock and metal, Studio 57 Radio, baby.
Goodbye.
You get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio 57, serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets. You get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio 57, serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets. Studio 57 is a 32-track digital recording studio that utilizes Cool Edit, Logic Pro, Shure, AKG, Sennheiser, Yamaha, Korg, Mackie, Boss, Ibanez, Fender, Fruity Loops, and many, many more to make your music pop. Experienced and friendly engineers make Studio 57 feel like you're home away from home. With beat creation, mixing, mastering, digital media conversion, and DJs for any event, Studio 57 Records is your one-stop shop for all your music entertainment needs. We have online bill pay and flexible payment schedules. That makes Studio 57 the place to be. For more information, visit Studio57records.com. That's www.studio57records.com. Or call us at 586-420-3390. That's 586-420-3390. Or log on to Studio57records.com. And just remember one thing, baby. You get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio 57, serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets. You get what you want, cause we got what you need. Studio 57, serving streets of the D. Recording, mixing, mastering, or great beats. We do what we do to keep you hot on the streets.
Party people, this is the original Doc Ice, and you are definitely listening to Studio 57 Radio. And if Studio 57 Radio isn't on, then your radio ain't really on. Check that.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio. You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip-hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.
Yo, Rebels, we are back for hour 2. How y'all living? So, yeah, most of you guys are on the same page with the whole baseball thing. You guys will find other things to do. I heard you guys. I see you guys. You're out there. You're thinking of the summertime. You're just doing summertime things. I don't even care. But we're gonna get into some other stuff, man. We got USFL talk. We got we got into a little NBA. We're gonna get around these other leagues. We're gonna have some fun. The text line is still available to you. We're gonna get that up for you in a second. So let's get this thing rolling. Without further ado, let's start hour 2 of DSR2. I am Scrappy, and here is Johnny Numbers.
Hey, we're back here for the second of DSR2 on this glorious Wednesday here in the day. A little raining right now, but it was nice in the 40s on there for second of March on there. We'll take it every day. It's going to be 50s on Saturday, 60s on Sunday, and of course, shovelable snow on Monday. Welcome to Michigan. Woohoo! Where it goes up and down, up and down, up and down. We still got lots to talk about in case you missed it. First hour, we talked about the basically the train wreck that is MLB baseball going on right now. Yeah. The lockout. Again, as we always say, millionaires fighting with billionaires.
Yeah, I mean, look, I get it. The biggest problem I have with it is that's what it is, essentially. And then the players that really need these things to be changed, the ones at the bottom of the pay scale there, don't really have any representation in this thing, it feels like. And they're the ones that are going to kind of suffer in the end because the owners are going to get what they want, and the top shelf players are going to get what they want via the union, but then all the bottom players are just going to have to kind of concede to whatever it is, and it's just... And they're the ones that kind of need the most help in this situation. So, and all of this could have been avoided, and all this stuff, all this sandbagging by the owners and this posturing by it's all stupid. It's just, I'm over it. And baseball will just become an afterthought if they continue to do this kind of stuff. Really, they've been struggling with pace of play and drumming up interest, and when the average fan is like 60 years old, you're in trouble. You need them to be 16, not 60, and that's a big gap.
Yeah.
So so when you have all those things going, this is the last thing you need is a work stoppage. So whatever, it is what it is. But a lot of you guys, I mean, a lot of the same stuff we're getting. Most people will just move on and find other things. They're not too worried about it. A couple of people I know will be bummed they won't be able to watch their team, but once again, got used to it with the pandemic. So so I mean, guys, I get you. I hear you. I see you in the text lines. And then of course I got a F LeBron James, which I love that. We've never had one of those before, and I just really appreciate it. So, and I'm in it.
Oh,
it's turned. And it's definitely, and it's, and it came from a California area code, so we'll just leave it at that. So, I love it.
It is turned.
Well, we talked about it. They have turned, and he's turning on the media and the fan base too. So
yeah,
he's just getting chippy.
And again,
he's
if you're
turning into the get off my lawn guy already.
Yes, and if you're a Laker fan and you're utterly disappointed and you're ready to commit suicide, hey, guess what? Get HBO on there because starting on Sunday night, we've got Showtime, baby.
Yeah, you can watch it when the Lakers were good. I want to see that just because I want to see all the dirty, crazy stuff that went on that we didn't get to see because, we weren't privy to all that stuff.
We wanted to really know what Magic Johnson was doing.
Dude, there's just so much meat on the bone on that
Kareem
situation.
smoking a lot of blunts on there.
Oh,
Where are they getting popped in Houston trying to have a threesome with a couple of undercover cops?
There's so much good stuff. And think about all the stuff that we never heard about that they got away with that could be in this thing. And
I want to know who's going to play Nicholson and who's going to play Diane Cannon because you got to have Nicholson there if it's Showtime.
Well, I'm kind of curious to how they're going to play all that stuff when it comes to, the other teams and things like that. Because there was a lot of other characters throughout that, not just that team, but through that era. And so I'm kind of curious how that's going to be. Oh,
we saw that coming.
Yeah. I'm just kind of curious how they're going to play that out.
So we got that on there. So yeah, we got all the sports going on there. Phil Mickelson has basically become persona non grata in the PGA. Sponsors are bailing on him. He lost basically his longtime sponsor, Callaway Clubs, are saying we're going to take put things on hold for indefinitely till we on this. And Again, that's what happens when you try to poach the PGA to go to this other league and guys aren't going. The PGA's like,
Well,
the sponsor's
dude,
like, no.
Have we learned nothing? There's just some cats that you just don't. It's not worth doing business with.
Right. Saudi was not worth doing business, and that's why a lot of the golfers said, no, we'll just stay here.
See, like Vince McMahon can get away with it, and I don't know how long that's going to work.
What? I don't even know if Vince McMahon had to do it all over again. Would he have done it?
Yes, he will. He's continuing to do it. He's got a long-term contract.
Well, he's got to know. But if he had to do it over again, would he have signed that contract with Saudi?
I believe he would have. Yeah, that's what I mean. He's got Nick Khan there for a reason. I think he brokered that deal, and so yeah, I think yes, he would have. The only way that he wouldn't have is if for some reason he couldn't bring Nick Khan on. That I think it'd be a little bit different whether he would take that deal or not. But I think he feels confident in whatever, and they'll figure it out, whatever. But it's a lot of money and a bunch of craziness, in the mix. So none of those guys turned down those matches. I mean, they're asking all these guys that shouldn't be in these matches to do shit. But I don't know how long that's going to pay off. I mean, it is a publicly traded company, and you can't continue to do this kind of stuff, I don't think.
So
I mean, imagine if it was with the Russians, it'd be shut down now, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think the Saudis are like on the up and up or something? Come on.
Yeah.
So at some point,
Then he basically trashed them too. It's like, dude, on there. It's like, oh my God. So we got that. We've also got hockey going on there as well. We got NFL free agency starting up in 2 weeks. 2 weeks from today at 4 p.m. On their free agency officially starts. So, yep, in 2 weeks we will be doing probably a hot and heavy NFL show breaking down as guys are coming in for visits and signing and that also on there. Because, again, just because it officially starts at 4 p.m. on there, guys are going to be meeting in the backdoor channels there for a week before.
Right. Well, and that's the great thing about the NFL. It never leaves us it never leaves us wanting too much, right? It leaves you just, and then it gives you just enough. It's like,
yes.
It's like, okay, you want it? Yes, I do. Oh, well, okay, here you go. And then you take it a little bit away. So there's always a little something going on. So free agency will come, then the draft will come, and then, we've got all the combine stuff that'll come.
Combines.
Then the draft.
I just like to see again somebody else. It's another Megatron moment, 6'5", 240 pounds, borrowing someone's shoes and then proceeding to run a 4.3 540.
Well, they almost didn't have the combine, which is so funny because like the NFL is going to get all uppity about their COVID protocols and how they're going to handle all that stuff, and they weren't going to let players use their own doctors and things and whatevers and they were like, well, then we're just not coming, and they're like, oh. Well, never mind, because, we need you to come, because if you don't, we don't have TV.
Right.
And so we need the TV. So they caved pretty quickly.
Yes.
It's kind of funny.
I'll be curious to see, at least locally there, I was at Sky Moore from Western Michigan, whether or not he's going to be able to run a sub 4.340 on there. We'll look at that on there as well. But, top free agents out there. Number one is Devontae Adams, Chris Godwin, J.C. Jackson, Terrion Armstead, Orlando Brown, Mike Williams from Chargers, Von Miller, Carlton Davis, Chandler Jones, and Jesse Bates on there. So those are your top 10. That's all we're going to go into. And we'll get more into it next week as I break down who guys might sign and so forth with it and go from there a little bit on there on that. And again, these guys, don't listen to these talking heads on there saying, the Lions are going to take the number 2 pick overall. They're going to take a quarterback. They are not drafting a quarterback at number 2 overall.
No.
It's not happening.
No.
There's not a quarterback worth taking number 2 overall this year. I don't know if there's even a quarterback worth taking in the first round this year.
That's my take. I don't think there is one. There definitely isn't one for the Lions.
No.
Like, I don't think that there's a first round quality quarterback in this draft. And I definitely don't think that the Lions need to reach, because all the other positions of need that they have, there are great depth in this draft.
Yes.
So take advantage of it,
right.
Dummies. Like
Fill up the spots you're most needed at.
Yeah.
Wide receiver, defensive end, linebacker, safety. You could fill all the needs, and you could probably add a little depth at all the needs too.
I put Goff on a year-to-year kind of situation or a 2-year deal because you might not have anybody in the next draft necessarily either, and then that you like really, really want. So you could be maybe 2 drafts away before you like make a franchise move at quarterback, whether you finally cave on free agency and find somebody or if you find somebody in the draft. I just don't see anybody like jumping off the page, definitely not in this draft or even in the next draft where you go, oh, I got to make that move. I just, with all the holes the Lions have and all the things that they could do with all the draft picks that they have, I just don't, unless somebody comes out in 2 years and blows me away, I just don't see it for the Lions. Now, will somebody reach for a quarterback this year?
Oh, God, yes.
Absolutely, they will.
I would say 3 to 4 teams are going to overreach on there. And again, if someone comes in, if say Philly wants a quarterback and they offer us all 3 first-round draft picks, I'm taking all 3 first-round draft picks.
Well, yeah, because you're gonna have a Carson Wentz situation on your hands where you're gonna draft early. You're gonna have a Blake Bortles situation where you're gonna draft somebody that's
a Mitch Trubisky situation,
right, where you're gonna draft somebody that has no business being drafted where they're drafted, and the expectations are just gonna be impossible to meet. So, I think that'll definitely. Actually, it's more likely to happen now just because the quarterbacks aren't that great, right? You're more likely to have one that's going to just crap out because it's not that good. And
you're going to have some franchise just lose their minds. Oh, I need a quarterback this year, and fine.
Right.
If Philly wants it, here, we're listening.
Yeah.
Giants want it, good. 5 and 7, we'll give you 2.
So I just don't. I just don't see it, you know. And since we're on the whole quarterback situation, holy shit, it's Carson Wentz is everything we effing said he was here.
Yes.
I told you he was a damn head case. Now his GM is giving up on him already.
Yeah.
That's how bad that mess is. Even the coach is like trying to defend him because he's the one that, you know, propagated that trade.
Yes. He's the one who basically kind of developed him there at Philly, and
he thought he could bring him
here and fix him, and it's just.
I told you, man, you can't
fix between the ears.
Not on the field.
No.
That's got to be done somewhere else. And if he's not putting in the work there, then it's not happening.
No.
There's nothing you're going to do as a coach. I mean, as a coach, all you can do is, you know, coach up the attributes he's got, but like nothing comes out when he's got something going on between the ears. He's got to deal with that. That's going to be what, you know, they have sports psychologists. It sounds stupid, but they have sports psychologists where, like, when people get the yips and they get these things, you know, they try to find the root of their nervousness or problems that kind of trigger their things that have to do with that, you know, with sport more directly. On top of just being able to, like, you know, maybe just go to somebody. But, like, I don't know that this guy thinks that there's a problem like that. I think he thinks it's something that he can fix mechanically or with, you know, film study or with. I think that's how the approach that they've been taking with him, and that's why I just never thought it was ever going to work, and this is why it hasn't.
He's going to need Stuart Smalley. You're special. You're good, and somebody really loves you. Look in the mirror.
I mean, and God dang it, people like me. But
no, nobody likes you, Carson.
No, Carson, nobody likes you, you ginger. You're just another ginger. Everybody hates you, you soulless bastard. Sorry, that's horrible.
No, it's not. It's true,
but it's still horrible. You know,
gingers I hate.
You can be true. Both things can happen. It can be true and horrible. Doesn't change. But anyway, yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do with that dude. He's in trouble there. I don't know what they're gonna do. So the quarterback situation is an odd one this year. So, you know, you've got that situation. You've got Green Bay's situation with Aaron Rodgers. You got Minnesota's situation with
Cousins.
With Cousins, you've got what's his name in Seattle, Russ.
Yeah.
In Seattle, who else? You got And now you're hearing this nonsense about Tom Brady coming. Okay. Now I know y'all heard this about him potentially like trying to come back to like the 49ers. I'm going to tell you something. He's still under contract.
Right.
So, he's either retired or he's a buck.
That's all there
There's
is.
nothing into
Bruce Arians came out today. He said, he goes, you want Brady? I want 5 number ones.
Well, this is the whole thing. I got news for you. No. If you think that Bruce Arians is going to trade the GOAT, you're out your fucking mind.
Yes.
He got the GOAT in the locker room, won a championship, has him under contract, and you think he's going to trade him?
No.
No, dude. No way. He doesn't want any part of trading that dude. No way. There's no way. So, I just, whatever. You could say whatever you want, and it can be whatever it is, and I ain't mad at you for thinking whatever, but yeah, if Brady comes back, he's going to be a buck. I don't know how he forces a trade. Yeah, who wouldn't want them on their team? Him on their team. So I just don't. I don't.
Yeah,
see
and
it.
I got the whole Deshaun Watson thing. Well, we won't know again as of today. On
Right.
there is
geez.
one team that says we are not going. You know what? The whole Deshaun Watson trade for Tua, that door is shut. We are not going after Deshaun Watson. We'll just stick with Tua for right now.
Well, and then we got the Kyler Murray stuff.
Yeah.
What's up with him? And I mean, so it's, hey, dude, it's going to be interesting, man. The NFL never leaves you bored.
No.
We will have plenty to get into with that stuff.
And again, the window for winning a championship, if you got a franchise quarterback and they're that good out of the box, you got a 3 to 5 year window. That's it. Chiefs are going to find out like that when you got all your players are basically three of your players are tied up to say 2/3 of your salary cap. You're not going to.
This is the key. You have to get that franchise quarterback not only young on a rookie contract and put him in a position to win early like that, but then you have to, via that route, get them to buy in enough to work their contract, defer shit, move things around, pay the luxury taxes, whatever it takes, so that you can put a team around them. You know, so what ends up happening is one of two things. Either, like you said, they've got a 3 or 4 year window where they can win a championship or two. Then they either have a quarterback that buys in, restructures, and they can continue that thing on and win, or they overpay a quarterback who can't get very far, maybe wild card at best. You can't get that far because they have limitations contractually. They just can't get enough players in there. Or these guys ultimately get traded on their last year of their deal, where someone gets them for next to nothing, re-ups them on some kind of deferred bullshit for another year, and then automatically has a 2-year window to try to steal one.
Right.
These are the kind of ways that cats win championships. And but the only long way to have systematic success over and over again
Is get your quarterback buy into it and defer shit.
Yeah, and get them young. You know, that's why everybody looks at Kansas City as being a potential, dynasty, because he won one already. They're always in contention, and he's already proven that he'll work his contract. So if they can work the contract, they got the right coach quarterback combination, they could always be in it. They got a guy that bought in, so Kansas City could potentially have that there. Now, they haven't, last couple of years haven't been great for them, but it's not horrible. Let's be real about it.
Yeah, you get into an NFC or AFC championship game this year, the Super Bowl last year, and that.
Right.
So you
just gotta.
Only downside is with the AFC, it's going to just be murderer's row for the next 4 to 5 years, because you got all these franchises with franchise quarterback. You've got Buffalo with Josh Allen, you've got the Chargers with Justin Herbert, and you got Cincinnati with JoJo.
That's so crazy that we just had two totally different conversations about the quarterbacking situation in the league.
Yeah.
We talked about all these guys and who knows where they're going to be or what they're going to do and what they're worth and what's going on. There isn't anything in the draft, and then we just went on about all these great quarterbacks in this division. It's so crazy when you talk about the quarterbacks.
Yeah,
in the
but
NFL.
you look at the NFC. I mean, there's no really dominant team in the NFC unless somebody gets.
But this is why the NFL is so great, because these conversations can be had.
Yeah.
Because it's all over the place, and we're just kind of talking about the general quarterback situation in the league and what to look forward to in free agency, and we haven't even gotten anywhere near it. And just the dynamic of it's so crazy. That's why what MLB doesn't have.
No.
That's what MLB doesn't do. That's what they don't put out there. That's even the NBA. At least they try. They just don't do it as well. But that's the ultimate difference between the NFL and all other sports and why they're king. Because you have vested interest in all these players, where they're going, what they're doing, what their contract situation is. And why is that? Why? Because they put it all out there for your consumption.
Yes.
They put it out there as part of their press releases and their media stuff, and they put it all out there. And in the NBA, MLB, NHL, they don't do any of that.
No, because the NFL used to be, it was 6 months on there, and then all of a sudden, things come up in March and April. We got free agency and the draft and all there. Now it's 365.
But why couldn't every other sport do the same thing?
They could.
And they just don't. That's my point. The NFL has mastered that. They've absolutely mastered that. That's what they do that's different than everybody else, and they've got it mastered. The NBA makes a failed attempt at it.
Right. They're probably the closest to it, but yeah, it's
not even close.
No.
And then every other sport doesn't even attempt it, and that's the difference between the popularity. I swear to gosh, right now, if we did a poll right now, most people would be burned if the NFL was gone, would be like, if NBA was gone, would be a little bit more miffed if baseball's gone, and then they wouldn't even know NHL was gone.
Yeah.
And all those would be in the low teens and 20s, and then you'd be looking at like 60, 80%, for the NFL. I mean, that kind of a disparity.
Right. Or again, you get like the NFL draft, especially the first night on there. It's must-watch TV.
It's crazy how the rating that pulls.
It's a draft.
I mean,
basically you're picking names and then you're talking about, and people are like, "Well, oh my god, I gotta watch the draft."
Yeah, you just get to pick players that you don't even know most of them. You don't even know most of them. No. Let's be real.
Oh, especially when most people don't know it. I mean, I could probably make it through the second or third round, but again, when you get 4, 5, and 6, and 7. Well, I'm just picking names,
and you're geeking out
unless you know somebody that played locally.
Right. But you're geeking out at this point because I'm going to say the average fan doesn't know anybody past the top 5 picks.
Yeah.
And that's only if they're watching SportsCenter every day.
Right.
Because, I mean, if you had to go by what the media's put out right now, Moose, and not by your own research, would you know anything? Would you even know the top 5?
No.
You sure wouldn't be past it.
Now, I would probably be about the top 5, and that'd be about it on there, just on there.
So,
but for me being a total loser geek on there.
Well, yeah, we geek out. It's totally different. And everybody that's listening to this shit does the same thing, too, I'm sure.
Yes.
So, I get that. we're just...
And it was, as we're going to joke when it comes to draft time, I'm going to show that Mel Kiper and Mike Mayock don't know shit. Again.
They don't, man. I was watching.
And that's like going, damn it, I'm like just popping this stuff, just doing my own research online, watching it and doing this. And I'm thinking, all right, boom, 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 boom. And I was like, damn.
I was watching McShay's first mock draft. That was the dumbest shit I've ever seen. And it was based on shit that ain't even real.
No.
On picks that aren't even real. It's like, what are you talking about, dude? The Lions are picking 2 and 32, not fucking like 5 and 25 or whatever it was. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't get it, man. And then and then this shit that they come up with, I'm like, oh, whatever. I just stop. I get that it's hard to cover all the teams and figure out what every team wants, but the Lions to me is lazy. It's easy. You can look at them and go, oh yeah, this team is deficient as hell. and I will pick this. This makes the most sense. Now, will the Lions pick that? Probably not, and maybe that's why they get weird when they start making their picks for some of these teams. But these mock drafts are a joke.
Yeah.
They're a flippin' joke. And, you know, Mel Kiper looks like a god. He looks like Angry Bird. He looks like the red Angry Bird.
He is.
He's just, and I just can't do it anymore. And I don't know if he's got Parkinson's or something, but his face shaking and his like nipping at the microphone with his beak and all this other shit. I can't do it anymore, and I just can't watch it. And then now the new hotness on ESPN is to just hate each other.
Yeah.
So Mel Kiper and Todd McShay, they rip on each other openly like they hate each other, but then they talk that they don't really. It's weird dynamic.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense.
Everybody's on it. It's just
Everybody's trying to just hate each other in their dynamic of their show, and so those picks have that to it on top of it, and I can't get with it, man. So not only are the picks nonsensical, now you're just trying to do the goofy low hanging fruit shit to get people to fucking watch your garbage. And you're doing a mock draft 2.0 like a week and a half ago. Wait a minute. You're on 2.0 already?
Yeah.
A week and a half ago?
Yeah.
The fuck are you talking about, man? Like, whatever. I can't handle it.
I'm not even doing, again, as we said, we're not going to even talk about many mock drafts until at least after the combine, and then you think, okay, we'll figure this out a little bit better.
Well, it's so funny because all the stuff they do, and then the combine changes everything they said, and then what really boils down to not 1.0 or 6.0 fucking mock draft was even close to accurate. So
right. I mean, the mock draft for me on there doesn't make, basically, if some guy has a great mock draft, it doesn't move him up anything on there. It just says, okay, keep an eye on it. But you have a guy that you like on there, and also the mock draft could basically say, you know, he's a lot slower than I thought he is or whatever. Maybe we're not going to take him.
what I would do, and the way I like it, and the way we approach it, I think a little bit more when we're dealing with it. Now we've got a higher pick this year, a high pick for the Lions, and they've got multiple picks over the next couple of years. So, and some teams have those luxuries of bam, bam, bam picks, but we'll be kind of like, okay, what's available? Who's got picks next? What makes sense? And we'll break down as it kind of happens. I think going into a draft that, you know, where you haven't had the Senior Bowl yet, some of these mock drafts, they hadn't had the Senior Bowl yet. You're still got to have the fucking combine. You're still going to have pro days and different things going on for some of these cats that can or cannot make things. Then cats are going to get healthy that maybe you didn't think would be healthy, or someone's going to get hurt, or something's going to happen. And so all these dynamics are going to change. And then by the time you get to this, you know, the eighth incarnation of your stupid, it just doesn't make any sense. So like, we'll talk about the wish list, and we always talk about that. And then we'll just break down the draft as it happens. I think to me that's a lot better than, you know, this goofy, just random draft picks that aren't based on any kind of reality. It's so weird. It's so weird.
So yeah, we got that on there. And NHL on there, at least locally here. Crazy game there Saturday. Wings end up down 7-2 in the first 7 minutes of the game, and ends up being a 10-7 game.
That's like the second time this happened, where it was like a crazy. Only I was watching and they were up like 4-2 or something like that, then lost like 7-5 or some crazy nonsense. And it's like, that's well, I like hockey that's packed like that. Like, I feel like, I know I didn't watch it, but I just feel like, hey, that's kind of fun to watch. I think the NHL, when they got rid of that 2-line pass scenario, opened up the game enough.
Yeah, it's getting
flows.
closer to what it was in the 80s,
So,
where it was like a lot fast. You know, basically from like 1980 to like 94, it was a lot up and down on it before they again got that neutral zone trap. and it just became painful on there. Where you're on there, but yeah, I mean, especially you get that '80s where you had the Edmonton, where just like you and me could score 100 points with that Edmonton team.
I'm telling
and
you.
I can barely even skate. I could just, but I'd be in front of the net, just a dink, dink. Because I'd have Gretzky just feeding it right to me with that. But yeah, I mean, and again, it is interesting on there with it, on there with Raymond, how the Wings under with the rookies with Raymond, and especially Sider is just just an absolute, just for, again, if you're looking at what Yzerman is on there, dude is hitting on his draft picks.
He is, and that's why I'm so glad we
Even
have him here.
Zadina's coming around, starting to come around some more on there with it, especially with the on there. But yeah, you look at the way with Raymond, with Larkin and Bertuzzi on that first line, and again with it, it's on there. They're not going to make the playoffs this year. It's not going to happen.
No.
We're going to have Rookie of the Year. Sider is going to win the Calder.
Sure.
He may be in the top 5 for the Norris Trophy this year too as a rookie.
Yeah, like you said, he has definitely hit on the draft picks. That's what I wanted from Yzerman. That's what we need here. That was always the issue. We can draw free agents, but with a cap, it changes the way you approach that. And so it puts the emphasis on drafting well.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about it with the NFL and how you have to do things. You kind of want to do it when you can get these younger guys on cheaper contracts. And so this is what Yzerman was brought in to do. And, if he was able to do what he could do with Tampa, I don't see why he can't turn this thing around. And he's been hitting on those draft picks. That's what I want him to do, because once that all starts happening, any free agent that he needs to get himself over the top will come.
Yes.
So why wouldn't you want to come for a franchise that's been known to, take care of their players, win championships, and then if you're around all this young talent and you got a GM like Yzerman, I don't know why you wouldn't come. So at some point they'll have to make a coaching, upgrade.
Right.
But
I kind of thought
but right now they're not quite there yet.
I was kind of hoping they would do that last year.
Yeah.
On there, and Gallant being available on there, and he of course goes on there. We kind of was hoping on that, but yeah, I think it's time after this year to move on from Blashill and try to get somebody to get you to that next step and so forth with it. And again, maybe he's looking for his coach that was in Tampa. I think he may be coming out of contract, so they may go after him or something like that. So.
Yeah, I'm not sure what he was waiting on, but I kind of get where it makes sense, right? Like Blashill was in the developmental part of the system anyway prior to that, so dealing with these young players isn't like a bad thing necessarily when it comes to him. And if you don't have the guy if your guy isn't there for your rebuild but could potentially be available in a year or so, then it makes sense to bring him back, even if the pool all of a sudden becomes a little bit better in a year. It makes sense to bring him back, even if it's not necessarily your guy. So, once again, I like what Stevie does. I kind of just put all my faith in what he does. I'm not worried. I think until he proves that, he makes unless he makes a series of just bonehead mistakes, I think he's pretty much proven that doesn't make too many boo-boos.
No, I mean, especially in player personnel-wise.
Yeah,
he's kind of, even the free agent on there, he's made some good moves, great trades with it. I think we need the coach. We do definitely need a little bit more depth on there while he's on there. But I think we may have gotten lucky with the goalie of the future and that and everything with it. But yeah, I mean, he's hitting on everything. So right now we'll look on that on there.
This is one of those things where the payoff isn't there yet, right? And that's the frustrating thing for fans. Like you said, they're not going to make the playoffs this year, but the payoff is coming. And it was kind of like when you watch Tampa and you're like, wow, Tampa turned around real quick. Well, not really.
No,
it took a minute, and then the payoff just seemed quick.
Right.
And that's what'll happen here, hopefully. So. So Red Wings fans, we will be back and rejoicing at some point, I feel. So, and we talked about the NHL and with the scoring and the way they've opened up the game and how the fan bases, these different fan bases, are very frenzied for their sport. I think, the NHL has they're so underrated, man. Like, their playoffs are so good. The parity is so good. The way they've upped their scoring and kind of the pace of the game is so much better. And I think baseball needs to take a little touch of a little page out of the NHL's book and say, hey, if I make just a couple of minor tweaks, we'll be all right.
Yeah.
And they just never did that, and now they're gonna. I don't know. It's so frustrating from a fan standpoint.
So yeah, we got a little thing I want to get into before on there. It was the shitstorm over the weekend. If you followed at least college football and everything with it, was Hugh Jackson basically hiring Art Briles as their offensive coordinator. And the actual shitstorm that caused. I mean, Doug Williams, who was the longtime coach there, and basically they're, again, great player coming from them as quarterback, playing with them first with Tampa and then winning a Super Bowl with the Redskins. And he's like, I'm done. If he's here, I'm done. What the hell were you thinking of all freaking coaches Art Briles bringing in as an OC? The actual disaster that was freaking Baylor and the whole thing that happened under his tenure. 72 odd cases of sexual assault by Baylor football players against women. And you're gonna bring this clown in, and the cover-ups and everything else on there. And of course, that got out, and basically it caused a shitstorm. And then again, social media
Rightfully
and public
so.
opinion said, and they're like, "Oh, he's not going to be here." First of all, why are you hiring Hugh Jackson as your freaking coach? He's a terrible coach,
Dude, there's so many. So many in.
God, you could pick
Conceivable.
anybody to coach better. I mean, you could pick Tyrone Wheatley from Cass Tech to take over there on there and be your. I mean, Tyrone. On there, but yeah, you can get anybody to come in there and coach on there, be better than freaking Hugh Jackson.
Oh my god,
that was Thomas Welchers at Cass Tech. That was my. But yeah, I mean, of all freaking people. You get Hugh Jackson, and then he brings in Art Briles. That would immediately say, yes, you know what? You're not fit to coach this team as a head coach. We're going to just move on from you right now.
Oh, my gosh. I just don't even know what people think, man. Like, their brains just don't fire.
Yeah, because he's got such a great pedigree. He was the second only coach to go 0-16, and then he went, before that, 1-15? He is, like, in 2 years, went 1-31 as a coach for the NFL team. How can you go 131 over 2 years with it? But yeah, I saw that one and I'm like, really? Art Briles of all fucking people?
So stupid. So dumb.
So I had to get on there. It's like, oh my God.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I don't even know what to say about that. That's just crazy talk. So, the USFL has a little issue on their hands. Apparently, there may be an issue with the current names and logos of the teams because they're using all the old USFL stuff, and there may be a trademark or copyright issue with this stuff, and this could be a little hitch in the giddy up.
Yeah.
Fox is in on the ownership with this. I can't imagine Fox didn't cover their ass. They're going to broadcast all this stuff. They're going to put all their time, money, and energy into it. They're going to essentially be a partner in the ownership of the league because it's not going to be a bunch of individual team owners. I can't imagine that they didn't find out what was going on with all that first.
Yeah, I mean, it was basically a group of former team owners and executives from the original USFL suing Fox to halt the launch of the new Spring Football League with the same name, alleging the USFL of inappropriate using the old league's branding. Yeah, because it's logos, names, uniform colors, everything.
It's all pretty much everything.
It is the same. I mean, the only thing they tweaked was the uniform, just basically the stripes and all that. But
yeah,
it's
they
the
just
same
kind of
color.
modernized it. Yeah,
But it's the same colors.
Sure.
The logos are still the same.
I mean, that could be an issue.
I mean, the one thing.
But I just can't believe that Fox would be that stupid. like how do you not look into that first? If this league used to exist and was around, you had to know somebody owns that shit. And I mean, you know, even if it reverted back to the original owner of the design, like that thing's like copywritten for like whatever 79 years or something after their death, like. You know, so it'd be 100 years before that'd be public domain, and I don't understand how they missed all that. So to me, I feel like there's got to be some kind of issue that Fox felt like they didn't need to go through all that. Like, we got it covered. Now, hopefully their legal team is that good, or that's just stupid.
Yes.
To me, that's just dumb. It's lazy. Just lazy. You're going to start this USFL up and didn't even think about who owns the fucking rights to doing all that? You just did it? What are you, like some like fly-by-night carny or something? Like you just made it up as you go and it doesn't matter because only 6 people even know you did it? Like, I don't understand. Like, you're going to be on national television.
Yeah. Especially with the whole lockout, it's just like golden. So.
Oh man, well that's the thing. It's not like people ain't gonna find out. Like what the? I don't know. What a joke. What a mess. Like someone wasn't gonna say something.
But yeah.
So I don't know. Cade Velasquez.
I'll let you handle this one.
Okay, look, dude, it's simple, man. I'm not saying it's right, but I understand. So, I don't know the whole story, but a quote-unquote close relative, I'm going to say niece or nephew. I'm just saying that. I'm not reporting anything. I'm just saying that. Was a victim of a sexual assault, and the suspect was arrested and released on bond in California.
Right.
And Kane decided, well, that's perfect then, because I'll just go handle my business. And a weapon was discharged, and he actually missed his target and hit the dude's dad, who is also in the vehicle, when he shot into the car. So, like, if you're just randomly, like, shooting shots in towards a car and you're out in public, and then I think you kind of, I have a little bit of an issue with that, but not enough to care when I know what the F he was doing. So, look, you can't do it that way. You're not supposed to do it that way. There's laws for a reason. You're not supposed to take things into your own hands. Being a vigilante is probably what he would do. And
but we understand.
But you can't do it here. But I totally understand. So, but now he's sitting in jail, and he's going to be there for a minute because even if they don't nail him, even if everybody kind of is lenient on him for whatever reason,
here's the actual
hit.
The one he went after. Let's see, here is Henry Eugene Galarte.
Okay.
age 43, was released from custody on February 25th.
He's hanging around a school or
without
something.
bail against the
Oh, it was
DA's
without-
order. Without bail.
It was without bail.
Against the DA orders, according to the statement from the DA's
My bad.
office.
I thought it was with bail.
He was ordered to stay home in home detention, remain 100 yards away from any child under 14, wear an electronic monitoring bracelet, which allegedly on his way to obtaining one when Velasquez gave chase. The child, who is under 10, told an officer from Santa Clara Sheriff's Office on February 24th that Galarte took him into the bathroom of a daycare center and touched the child's genitals.
Yeah.
So, and this occurred 100 times.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So yeah, Galarte denied any wrongdoing and said he helped once helped the child with his pants, and we saw the child didn't have them on correctly. Yeah.
Sure.
100 times. So again, if this is true, it's not right that Velasquez went after him, but I totally understand why he went
Oh,
after
yeah.
him.
Yeah. The only thing I would say is next time make sure that you're closer and that you don't accidentally hit a bystander. Just
Yes.
smoke his ass. I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, and you do that, good luck finding a jury that's going to convict you for that.
I think that's his sensibility here. And if he was in Tijuana, they wouldn't even have arrested him.
They would have given him a medal.
Yeah, they wouldn't have done nothing at all. So I get what's going on, but yeah, like it's tough, man. As much as I agree, and I would probably have reacted the same kind of way, yeah, you really just you can't do that, unfortunately. But
You need to know people to make it look like an accident.
yeah, I'm look. I know what the law is, and I know I would have done the same thing.
Yes.
I know what the law is, and I know what I'm saying, and it may sound hypocritical, but it goes right back to the whole thing. Like, I'm not saying it's right, but I get it. I understand, and I'm telling you, if it was someone in my family, it wouldn't be any different.
No.
Oh, you know what the difference would be? I wouldn't have missed.
No.
I wouldn't have hit the passenger. I wouldn't have hit the other guy. I'd have hit him.
I would have been ringing the doorbell with a baseball bat in my hand and basically open that. I would just whoonk.
See, I want him to see me. I want the look on my face to be the last thing he ever sees. Period. Period. And so it's happening. Like, I'm sorry. Like, this is not a hate thing. It's not a bully thing. This is not a badass thing. This is not a whoop-de-woo, look at me.
No, you did this to a child.
No, if you did this to a child in my family 100 times, you better hope you have bail. You better hope it's a high bail and you can't post it. Because if you get out on the street, I don't care if they put surveillance on you. I'm getting you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna get you. Period. And I ain't gonna miss. Because, you know what? To be honest, I might just want to do it with my bare hands.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's absolutely that's the case.
You know, I think I just want to feel that.
I'm going to take it out on
I'm
you.
sorry. That might make me the most horrible person in the world. But I'm just telling you, I think I want to feel that. If you make me feel this kind of way and do that kind of thing, I think I want to get that back. And so, I don't know. It's not a politically correct way to take it, and I get it. I know what's wrong. I know the difference between right and wrong. I'm not an idiot. And I'm just saying that I don't know that I could control myself any different. In fact, I know I probably would be worse. I don't know. Like I said, I wouldn't have missed. I wouldn't have, because I would have watched. He'd have seen. He'd have known. I'd have felt it. It'd have been the whole thing. The whole experience would have had to have happened. That'd have been the whole point. Like, you're going to know. And so, I don't know. So, like, you know, running out the street and shooting at a car because someone said, oh, he's in that car driving there. Oh, okay, bang, bang, bang. Like, that's not cool to me. Because that's defeating the purpose. Now you got caught. He got away. You're in trouble. It didn't help nothing. It's not like you guys are going to end up being cellmates. You're going to be able to, you know, exact your revenge with a mop wringer.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, it's like, it sucks. It's just, it's just a shitty situation, and there's nothing. Nobody wins. Nothing's good about this. Everything's bad, right? There's nothing good because the kid went through this. This guy got off. This dude had to act this kind of way, and I can't blame him. And then now he's in trouble, and all these lives are ruined. I mean, like, this is the definition of lose, lose to the fifth power, lose.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just there's nobody won anything or even remotely close to anything. It was just a lose all the way around. It's horrible. So it's just unfortunate. But once again, I ain't saying it's right, but I understand.
Yep. So we got that there. And as you see, we got AEW on there behind us.
Yes.
AEW, they said, is going to be coming to Detroit for a show.
Dude, people are going bonkers over the shit. The tickets go on sale the 11th. I don't know. They're going to go quick. I know they're going to start at like 30 bones and go up to probably like 300. I think you'll be able to get lower bowls in like the 50s and 60s. And people are going to go nuts to come to this event. But guys, all these cats here, okay, with the exceptions of the ones you've already seen in WWE a million times, all these other cats were just on the indies.
Yeah.
2 years ago. And guess what I do?
You do the indies.
Come on, guys. Come to our shows. Like, we're putting out talent. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Go to your local show. Go get the $25 ticket that's there every weekend, or the $10 ticket, or the $30 ticket that's there every weekend, and stop spending hundreds of dollars on tickets with guys. They just treat you like a mark. And I get it.
Yeah, do some of these local shows on there where, again, a lot of the money goes to a good cause.
Yeah, and like our case, it does. In a lot of places, they do. In the indies, it does, because these cats, are making their own money. And so in this case, these guys have TV contracts and all this other stuff, and you're just pouring more money into the machine, and that's fine. Support it, enjoy it, have fun. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying put that same vigor into the whole industry. Put it into your local scene, because you're going to have a lot more fun. And then when those guys come up, guess what, guys? There is AEW is on right now. You guys are clamoring to get to that show. I know 30% of that roster. I know them because they already came through here. Yeah. I know them. Guess what I get to see? I get to see people I know on TV now. I get to see them work. It's fun. I enjoy it. It's nice to be able to say that. It's nice to be able to do this show and other podcasts and talk about that. Go in our groups and go to our things and be able to say, hey, like, oh, dude, when they came through here, they did some awesome work. I knew they'd get there. Da-da-da-da-da. Look at them now. It's awesome to witness greatness kind of as it happens. So, like, enjoy your indie stuff. Our show over the weekend, if you didn't make it to the IWE Backbreakers Ball we had on Saturday, y'all missed out. Dude, that was one of the best wrestling shows I've seen.
Yeah.
These guys killed it. It was an amazing show. After, we had a show that wasn't it was kind of lackluster, and we took a little time off, and, a lot of things are kind of screwy and goofy going into the show. And this show turned out to just be absolutely amazing. From I can't wait. I've got the video here, but of course it'll get cut down in production, for Battlezone TV. But the next, 3 or 4 episodes of Battlezone TV are going to be absolutely flippin' amazing. And it'll be as good or better than anything you're seeing on television now. So, and that's just us. There's so many other companies out there that are good or better. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm not going to sit here and just blow the IWE horn, but I am. IWEgladiators.com and, Imperial Wrestling Entertainment on social media and on YouTube, and check us out. In your local listings. We are in 11 different states with multiple affiliates. So we're even on your regular television, whether you're in Michigan or whatever. Like I said, we're in like 11 different states, like Texas and Boston, Massachusetts area, or Massachusetts, Boston area, whatever. West Virginia, like we're on all these different places, all over Michigan, of course. So like IWEgladiators.com, you can check your listings there. We'll be able to tell you who's got us, but we're not the only ones. Ring of Honor is going to make a comeback at some point. And there's all these other super indies, GCW's on the incline. There's a bunch of companies that are climbing right now that are doing well, and indie wrestling is huge. And get out there and enjoy it.
Yeah, support your local independent organizations.
Abso-flippin-lutely. We did a canned food drive, Moosey Moose. We did one last, like a week before the show.
Okay.
We just did a little canned food drive. We have all kinds of different access to, with, doing stuff through the youth center. They have lots of resources, so it was easy to just set up. We reached out to the local Walmart. They let us set up there, and I had some prior engagements. The timing schedule kind of didn't work out for me, but a big shout out to all the boys and girls that went out and from our IWE family that went out and rustled up some food for a great cause, and that's the kind of stuff. And you'll find, and then our shows, we raise money for the youth center, and we do, like, our next show is for the Veterans Association Memorial Fund.
Okay.
And so we do stuff with Special Olympics, and you'll find a lot of these your indie companies will do all that stuff. So yeah, man, not only will you get a really good show where you can like meet the guys and hang out with them and shake hands and get autographs and pictures and things like that, that you don't necessarily get with the big cats, but there is a lot of times a good cause behind it, and dang it, it's just fun. So get after it. Love you guys. We'll see you next week. Be good.
Peace out, brothers.
Peace.
You're listening to Studio 57 Radio, your home for underground hip hop, rap, and R&B. Studio 57 Radio.